Furthermore, more Americans knew that Michael Jackson sang "Beat It" and Billie Jean than knew the Bill of Rights was part of the United States Constitution. I'm sorry I'm going to have to read the next thing in its entirety, and it's also from the American Revolution Center, but I think it ties in nicely to what Kiwi Ted was saying about his video, why he thought America was great. And so here we go. We are a nation united not by blood, land, or religion, but rather by the great founding principles expressed in the Declaration of Independence and in the Constitution of the United States. These ideals, what Abraham Lincoln called our ancient faith, have inspired our greatest moments and sustained us through our darkest days. Looking back on the Declaration of Independence in 1857, Lincoln observed, "The assertion that all men are created equal was of no practical use in effecting our separation from Great Britain." And it was placed in the Declaration not for that, but for future use. The radical idea of equality and self-governance embodied in our founding documents changed the world forever. Across the globe, people and nations struggling for freedom continue to invoke this powerful idea. And yet, because democracy needs to be learned by each generation, we are in danger of losing the precious gift of self-governance that our founding generation bequeathed to us. As careful students of history, our nation's founders knew that republics were fragile and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people would not endure without an informed citizenry. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, Thomas Jefferson warned, it expects what never was and never will be. Today, perhaps more than ever, understanding the founding values and principles born of the American Revolution is critical to defending our liberties and preserving our system of self-government. Our society, our very existence as a free people, rests on our success in ensuring that all Americans understand our history, rights, responsibilities, and pass this knowledge on to rising generations. And that was Dr. Bruce Cole, President and CEO of the American Revolution Center, who wrote that. And I think I could not have said that any better. And I want you guys to think about that too. Our founding fathers were enlightened, informed men, great men, some who attended the precursor to the schools of Harvard and Princeton and William and Mary and Columbia University, but not all of them did. I mean, George Washington, he was tutored and self-educated, and Benjamin Franklin, he was an apprentice, and he ran away from his master, which I think was his brother or something like that, to live his free life in Philadelphia. And we all know what he accomplished, but he was a learned man. And Thomas Jefferson, he had 6,500 books, and he lent away his personal collection. He gave it to the Library of Congress, and that really increased their collection. And Benjamin Franklin, he started the Library Company of Philadelphia, that is in 1731, that still exists today, because books were very rare at that time. And he pulled together with a bunch of friends called the Junto, and they collected books, and they still collect books today. And because information at that time was hard to get, and I think it's a real tragedy today in terms of the dumbing down of America, that we have no excuse. We really have no excuse, and we have no one to blame but ourselves. In ourselves alone, because we live in an era that has so much access to information. It boggles the mind, the amount of books that are published in America, the amount of research we do, the amount of knowledge that's available right at our fingertips on the internet. We can pull up anything. And if our founding fathers had that kind of information, I don't know what they would have done. They've probably gone crazy. They might not have gotten anything accomplished because they would all be studying. But I really do think that when we complain about a government, we kind of complain about ourselves, because in the purest form, the government is supposed to come from us, the enlightened citizenry. And can you blame the government if it comes from the same people who would rather watch John and Kate plus 8 than involve themselves in the intricate workings of our government? I don't know. James Madison in the Federalist Papers wrote that the enlightened statesmen will not always be at the helm. Indeed, they will not always be at the helm, but it takes a vigilant, well-informed, and audacious populace to keep them in check. And I think more powerful than a bullet is the power of ideas and ideals, and people willing to give up their lives for these ideas and ideals. And they cannot be silenced, because they will continue to endure long beyond the death of the American militiamen. And you can see that because we're still talking about our Constitution and our Founding Fathers' principles today, long after our patriot fathers are dead. So just keep that in mind, and God bless America.